Hey everyone, welcome to Cindy Certified Recipes. Today I'm bringing you a double classic. Classic number 1, Disney. Classic number 2, chocolate chip. This is a very unique, delicious recipe from the Grand Floridian Resort at Disney World. But before we get to that, if you're not already, I'd sure appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and then that notification bell, and you'll get first dibs on all my upcoming videos. Because I'm telling you, when they're tired of the rest, they will reach for the best. I've decided to use my big old blender today, and so we're gonna start on the other ingredients for these cookies, and that's gonna be 1 1/4 cup of room temp butter, and that's salted butter. And we'll be creaming that butter with 1 cup of light brown sugar. And a very unique ingredient is 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. And we'll be creaming that about 5 minutes. You want it to be nice and fluffy and light. All right, that's looking nice and fluffy and light colored. Just gonna scrape that down before we get going with the other ingredients. Turn it on a little lower this time. I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. It's 2 eggs, and we're going to add 1 at a time. You want that egg fully incorporated before you add the next one. It's looking good. We'll put our last one in. Now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm going to turn that down another notch so we don't have flour flying everywhere. And I'm going to start adding our dry ingredients. A little at a time, let it work it in. I'm going to shut that off and give it a little bit of a scrape down. Looking good. Turn it back on. It's almost done. That's looking great. All the flour's incorporated, and even if you have some hanging around on the edges, it's fine because we'll be mixing that in with the chocolate chips. So now I'm going to disassemble my bowl and move on to those chocolate chips, getting those stirred in. We have our cookie dough all mixed up now, and this is the consistency. Well, it looks like your average cookie dough, right? And what's great about this Disney cookie dough is you don't have to refrigerate it, you don't have to do anything special, no one has to wait, except how long it takes to actually make the cookies, but there's no special requirement to do anything else but just mix them up, bake them, and everyone gets to eat them, so it's really great in that sense. And I want to tell you, I've shown you in a past video, I particularly really like this brand of chocolate chip cookies. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I really like it because I'm always looking for good ingredients, and they don't have soy. So you guys might want to look at the labels on your chocolates and things you're buying, and they taste delicious. They're outstanding. So this is what I try to use. And this recipe calls for 12 ounces, which is a whole bag. So we're gonna just put that whole bag in there. And I like to hand stir these. I don't want my mixer breaking up the chips. So I just like to always hand stir my chocolate chips into the batter. Doesn't take very long. Now I did forget to mention just now, and because I always have lots of chocolate chips around. But if you only have the one bag, you might want to reserve like half a cup or quarter of a cup, because I like to stud the tops of my cookies once I've put them on the baking sheet with a few extra chocolate chips, so they look nice. You don't have to. I just like to. All right, there we go, you guys. Ready to scoop and put on that baking sheet. We're ready to scoop out our dough onto our cookie sheet. And first I want to tell you, my favorite baking sheet to do cookies are these air-filled cookie sheets. And this one I have here is older than the hills. Like, I think it's, I don't know, probably 20 years old. But I still like to put parchment paper on them. And so that's why I have my parchment and my air-filled cookie sheet, baking sheet. And this is the size scoop I'm going to use right here. And so I just scoop those on. I like to smash the scooper against the side of the pan to get it nice and filled. And sometimes I gotta rub excess off. I like to put 3 rows on my pan, on my cookie sheet. Sometimes they get a little unruly and you can just shape them. You can actually also pick these up and roll them in your hands like a meatball and make them nice and round if you want that. Depends on my mood whether I do that or not. All right. And I'm going to check for any unruliness here. That looks good. And now, like I mentioned earlier, I got my little container here of some extra ones. And you want to kind of press those down into the cookie. And being the cookies spread a little bit, don't be afraid to put extra on there, otherwise it'll actually look a little lacking if you don't put a few more on there. And they don't have to be all upright and perky. In fact, I think it looks better if some are sideways or whatever which way. Random. I like to be random. So we're just going to go along and press some of these chocolate chips and all these cookies before I stick them in the oven. There we go. All looking beautiful. And into that 330-degree oven, these are going to go. Here they are straight out of the oven, like straight out of the oven. And Disney says that they need to rest 3 minutes. And so while those are resting, I'm going to get my next batch in the oven and keep doing this until they're all baked. And so after they're rested, I'll put them on a cookie rack. Aren't these a thing of beauty? And the smell in here is phenomenal. And I gotta say, I gotta give Disney props because I think their cookies are like the perfect proportion of everything you look for in a chocolate chip cookie. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, it's just the right bit of chocolate. It's got the little craggies going on, not too many, not too smooth. And when you bite into it, it's got just the right crispness, and that chewy factor stays even days later. And I think it's got something to do with that powdered sugar, but they're just like the perfect cookie. It comes from Disney. Of course they're the perfect cookie. And you gotta try them out, you guys. And we're gonna crack one open and take a look in here. And now I can't wait any longer. I gotta take a bite. Total heaven. They are so chocolatey inside, crispy and chewy. I'm telling you, everything you want in a cookie, stop looking. You have found your perfect chocolate chip cookie. Don't forget to look at all my other dessert playlists. And if you haven't already, I appreciate you subscribing to my channel, hitting that like button if you like this video. And you guys, I'll see you next time on Cindy Certified Recipes. You can't go wrong when you stick with the classics. And as always, if it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy Certified.